or in the middle of Beis Daled. Have you been following the Maamar till now?
Not entirely, but I've listened to a few of them.
Yesterday?
Yesterday.
Okay, so he's explaining now there's not a lot of Isis in the Maamar. But what he's explaining is why the brach has to come to the sidus of Esav, why Yaakov has to have the union of sidus. And then explain also not just that, but even the levushim of Esav. So the core of the inyan is that the intent, the kavanah here is to be mamshech. Yitzchak is blessing Yaakov, so Yitzchak is being mamshech from his level, and his level is gvuras da'atik, which is Ur Chayzer, as opposed to Ur Yosher. We explained the two levels of Tainug. Atik in general is Tainug. It's an atzmizdika, relatively speaking, atzmizdika state. And we explained over the shiurim various mashalim to explain the difference between Ur Yosher and Ur Chayzer. The nekuda is that Ur Yosher is bislapshos, it's contained by the keli, namely seichel and midas. And Ur Chayzer means that, of course, it's entertained in the seichel, but not contained. It's such an overwhelming truth that the mind cannot get literally a handle and a grasp on it, even though, of course, it's aware of it, and that's what Chayzer means. It's present, but it keeps on, like, as it were, departing. The knowledge that this happened doesn't depart. He found his long thought perished brother. That doesn't leave, obviously. That knowledge is what causes the whole ispilus and kleisa nefesh. Ha gufa is what pales the Ur Chayzer. So a reshima, that's what's meant by reshima, remains. The reshima is the fact, but it cannot be ma'akal in Hebrew. It cannot digest it, literally. And because it cannot digest it, because there's the idea of the overwhelming news, that's what's pale the Ur Chayzer, the kleisa nefesh, in the extreme case. So you want to explain why this inyan can only be nimshach through sidus. And it seems that, just listen up, don't look inside. It seems that the nekuda is because the inyan of sidus means, that's moisiris hamoichin. Sidus means that the seichel itself cannot be nizgala there. And that's exactly what we're talking about. The inyan cannot be nizgala there. It has to, in simple language, such a giloi cannot happen in a pnimizdika absorbed way, because by definition it is beyond creation, and you included. The only way to take it is with the inyan of sidus. But then that leaves the question end of it. So sidus is moisiris, and it's through a tzimtzum, it's a hel and v'hester. So what have we gained? What have we gained? Absolutely nothing. The answer is no. There's one word we'll see, l'chayra, that because we're talking about such a giloi, then even the sidus, even this reshima, even this small measure of appreciation is suffused with the shoydish, the gvura shebetainug, which means l'chayra that in his paucity, in his limitations, sidus in his limitations, in those limitations, which will be explained further, l'chayr and dois, in those limitations is the profound appreciation, not lust, the beauty and the absolute truth of a likus, of that which he is privy to. It's kind of a fusion of bli gvul and gvul. That's what we're talking about. But it must come in Gvul because it doesn't come in Gvul when they have no shaykhs to it. Number one. Number two, the whole point here is just that you and I, that in Mugbolim, limited finite human beings in our limitations, are privy to and connected to and is suffused with the absolute transcendent. And if you think that's neat and easy, then you can't have it. You can't have it. If you think you've earned it, and think you're entitled to it, and you're sure, yeah, then you missed it. He says later in Avodah, that's a difference between the tzaddik and the Baal Tshuva. For the tzaddik, it's a degree of entitlement. I mean, he earned it. He's a good boy, so you're a good boy. You're a good boy. But the true Baal Tshuva, they're forever the Gewalt. Okay, I hope this is somewhat clear, because if it's not, we're going to be wasting our time thoroughly. So I need some feedback. Okay, let's now try and see it inside.
The line that begins with which word?
I'm going to decide. We'll go back a little bit. Yeah, so let's begin. We're not going to repeat the whole Tzemeach Chai Medaber thing, although that's the whole introduction, which we learned yesterday. But let's begin by the words V'zehu. It's the last word in the line. It's like basically a little more than halfway down, but on the page in front of you, it's halfway down. So if you're looking for numbers, ha'odes, it's between 25 and 24, I think. I don't even know what 24 is in the previous page. So it's a few lines up from the number 25. Last word, there's a period of V'zehu, yeah? Everybody has it? V'zehu. We don't have any Marmakamis here to help us out. I don't know why they didn't. This is addressed next to this, but anyway. So having said that the holding of Cyrus is Moishe, and that's the same Inyan as Erchayz. We have to have this clear to whatever degree we can. They equal each other for our purposes. The same Inyan. Erchayz means that it's too big to be Nimshech and the Pnimis. That's what Cyrus is. There has to be a tremendous tzimtzum, the Galgalta, because the Moyach, the Seichel, in its pure form, the Chayas of the Moyach is far beyond and overwhelming the Cyrus. So we see the connection to of Moishe. Erchayze. Moishe equals Erchayze. Moishe means residual. Erchayze is residual, as he said, just understand. Erchayze means that the truth remains, but it's residual, meaning the metzius of the truth. Yes, I found my brother, but not the hasbara. Not how is this really possible? Hasbara means, but how could this be? But the metzius remains. That is the pshat, the residual. That's moisres, and that's erchayze. It's there, but it keeps on bouncing out. Yeah, but the forever but how could this have been? Never goes away. The spilus. That's the spilus and the gewalt of the Baal Tshuva, which you'll say later. After what I did, you're taking me? It's just a never-ending gewalt. He's never comfortable and never entitled and never, yeah, sure. It's always okay, we're clear. Later in Avodah, he spells it out a little bit for us. Continuing inside the ois, yeah? Because ki next line ha'brocha birchas Yitzchak ki amshoch mebchinas gvuras da'atik. Gvuras da'atik shebeifin shel erchayze, that cannot be contained. Gvura Datik relatively is bli gvul. It's the intensity of the absolute truth of Enyed Milvadid. It's not a thing that a nivra can contain. Why? Because a nivra is locked into himself, his own limitation, and here he is privy to the truth that his whole Metzius is Ein ve'efes, and the truth is Elikus. It's not something that we can assimilate. So it can only come through sidus, which means like a ha'ada. Now, if it's only ha'ada, so what have we gained? No, so back to the old tzimtzum, so we're stuck in tzimtzum, and we're removed from the whole inyan. So he says, no, even though it's just meisin beichin, it's only a slim ha'oda, it's a cider, almost no chayis. You pull on it, as you said earlier, you feel pain. Cut it, unless you're a highly developed sensitive nose, you're not going to feel any pain. So it's tremendous tzimtzum, less than the, just tell me in the body what chassidus bring. In the reality, what's even a greater hell and vehesta tzimtzum?
Nails?
The nails. It's mamish. There's no such thing as not cutting nails. That's mamish. Chayis mitzumtzum. There's no pain there. It can be removed completely from the body, and that's the tachlis of hell. But Cyrus, that's like.
But Cyrus, but over here he's trying to bring.
That's the doimim. Cyrus is the tzimeach of the person. What?
Okay, right. But I think, from our understanding, I mean, Cyrus is because it came through the hefsek of the Gulgoilis.
That's what we're saying.
Right. I'm just saying that's why he's scratching. Okay.
B'diuk. That's what we're saying.
Right. Correct.
So what's the point then? If there's the hesek and the galgalte, if we're going to this whole tzimtzum, and that's where we're on the other side of midnight, the other side of the tzimtzum. So what's being gained? Gvura da'atik? It's gvura da'atik. What's the shaykhs do we have? So he says, whatever. Shemiyoisam meisim meichem belvad harei answer. Let's just read the words. Because of the greatness, the maila of this gilu of Gevura Da'atik, and egam b'pchinas ha-moisres, even at the moisres level, the sidus, nimsheches hashpa beribu yachayis b'yoyse. The hashpa is tremendous. So what does this mean? The McGill student, like, what are we talking about? So again, l'chayre, it means that notwithstanding, again, the paucity of our intellect, etc., there is the uncompromised, there's the truth. The truth. This is gevura da'atik, the intensity of the absolute reality of the divine is appreciated by us in our little minds. He has this connection. V'adra, that's what pales these spilers, the Gewalt. Because he does have an appreciation of what he's connected to. But he can't assimilate this. How do I get there? How do you include me? There's more, because now Yaakov comes in. Vinyan Bazen, it gets more complex, friends. Let's go further. Yaakov is the one that's getting dressed up in the sidus. Yeah? He's got if it's just the sidus alone, it's just tachlis ahelim. But Yaakov dressed in the sidus, even in the helim, even the meisres is the ribu yachayis, the fusion of gvul and bligvul. I mean, in the big picture, this is a microcosm, maybe in the macro, of the tachtonim, the tachtin, and the sidus, the dira. In the Helen Behester. So this is where Yaakov is critical. It's all about Yaakov. Let's see. Yaakov Amar al Atzmo, Yaakov said about himself to, who did he say this to? Vanechi ish chalak, I'm smooth. I'm not hearing it like Esav. He said this to?
His mother.
Yeah, to Rivka. Who orchestrates the whole thing. V'hainu, what does it mean he's smooth? He doesn't have the union of Cyrus. Why? He's in the Shomah, Yid. V'hainu, Shemidos, even though Esav is also Yid. Shemidos shel Yaakov midas hatiferes. What's Yaakov? Not Avram, not Yitzchak. They're chesed atik and gvura atik. But Yaakov is midas hatiferes. And what's the mile midas hatiferes? The central midah. He became for him tzoi. It's the central shaft, literally line. Shemavriach min hakotzel hakotzel. Right? And the Mishkan, it circled and it centered the whole Mishkan from one extreme to the other. Went through the center of all of the Kodashim. And therefore bound them all together. So who is Yaakov? Because he's Tiferes, so his source, in the system is lower, but in the source, even Avram v'Yitzchak, V'hainu, spelling it out, what is their source? L'mayla. We explained that even though they're Ava and Yira, but Ava betanugim, the whole beer there, the Lasher Rabbim, even in Ava, that there's two in Yonim there in the Midas. Chesed, the Gvura Sheba'atik, their Shadish is respectively Chesed and Gvura Sheba'atik. He is even higher, and therefore higher, L'mayla, Machiluk, their Yoshev and Chayzer. This is all Giloyim ultimately. Even though Chayzer, we kept on saying it's Atzmi, is dik, as it were. It's deeper, it's higher, Helema Atzmi, and so on. But still not the Etzem Mamish. And that's Dafke Yaakov. Higher than the Yosher and higher than the Chayzer. Shezel B'chinas Atzmo Sashefa. Shebe Mashpia. Here we're talking about the very essence. Higher than one Giloy or the other. Higher than Oyer in both ways. Yosher and Chayzer. Right? The very essence. But this is what we need. How do we get it? The Keli is Dafke Gvura. The Keli is Gvura Da'atik. The Keli is the Moishe Hashefa. The Keli is Sidus. Again, why? Because Poshet. It is Bem is beyond. It can't come neatly down. It's got to come in a way that's beyond us. But at the same time, paradoxically, in the Pneumius, in the end, the Rabbi Hashefa permeates the Sidus. But it's a perennial wonder, forever, the greatest wonder. Let's continue in the words of the Maimer. So who's Yaakov? So he is Atzmus Hashefa, that's where he's rooted. Shebemashbia. Shloi nimshach adayin lamata, that cannot be drawn down. He needs the union of Sidus. Atzmus is Nizgala Dafke lamata, Dafke in the Helem, Dafke in the Tachtoinim. That's Sidus. Even though this is Sarich Iyon, and this has to be explained at great length, Helem is no closer or deeper than Giloy for Atzmus. That's true, Mitzad Atzmus. We'll leave that aside now. It's taka true. We just said, no, hide in the Yosher, hide in the Chayzer. So why can I come through Yosher? Perhaps through Chayzer. We need this question and answer. I want you to think about it. You understand what I'm asking? You hear my question? What am I asking, Adam?
There's no difference between Gilead and Chayzer.
So why are you insisting here that that Shach of the Atzvus and Mashpia has to be dafke through Sidus and through Helem? It can be just as well through Giloy. Atzvus is higher than both, that's the point. Now you understand the question? No. Or yes?
Yeah.
Okay, you think about it. There's not a little question on the Maimah here. This is the whole Chassidus, the whole Kavanas Abriya. So dafke in the Tachten, and dafke in the Helem, Yoshes Cheshes Sisrei, Helem or Atzmi. Hello, it's at Atzmos, Helem, Giloy, it's all equal. Havai Yolikim. This is what that means. Well, who?
But it's true, the MS is all equal.
Huh?
And it's true, the MS is all equal. Meaning,
Yeah,
even though it
yeah,
comes
that's why we're
down
asking the
to
question, because it's the truth. So why is it dafke? Have to come dafke to the sidus and dafke to the helem and dafke to the tzimtzum. Can't come through outright pasha to gilui. Both are you're totally beyond both. They're both impossible. No? It's a klotz kasha. I mean, a klotz kasha. Klotz means a piece of wood. It's a klotz kasha because this lies at the core of the whole kavanas abriya. So the McGill student is asking you this. Give you 1,000 Maimorim, Biyurim. What? Atzmus doesn't need any of this. No, it's dafke in the tach. There's no dafke for Atzmus. It can be anything. It has to come dafke in paradox. It's not in paradox. He has to come only in a riddle. Can't come straight. Helem can come, Gvura, Shabbatik, I understand, can come only in a riddle, and a Bligvul needs to come, in contorted, convoluted, even torturous ways. Bligvul. The Eibush is beyond Bligvul, Atzmus, there's no Akbolis at all. It's a Pasha the Klotz Kasha, friends. And we need to be able to answer because it's the basic question. Why is it this way? Okay. Homework.
He chose it to involve all of us. And he chose it to involve
Yeah, it would be a lot easier.
the
A lot easier and better if it went straight. Gilui, oir, understand and appreciate.
But it wouldn't be us.
Tak, we'd be involved much more.
It wouldn't be us.
Huh?
It wouldn't be us. We'd be completely consumed in the Indian. To be me and feel independent and in there find the Gilui, that's a art.
But Taiva Frekmanishkan Kashis. This is what he desired. He chose that the Tachten should be part of it.
I'm not asking on that. Why can't the Tachten be part of it through direct Gilui? It has to be Dafka Moisres. Why does Yaakov have to wear the ace of Sidus? Yaakov and the Shama send him Lamata and finished. It's a klotz kash. What you're all saying, no one said anything wrong here yet. Just want the Shabam is we should try to understand as much as is possible to understand, recognize the limitations in it. What can be understood, what can't be, and why it can't be. It's part of what Seichel needs to understand. Which part is mevur and muchrech, and you must understand, and where the Seichel understands you cannot. Behechrech cannot. Naftrachten. There's no substitute. Got to toil.